Hello everyone, and welcome back to Film and Flash. Today we will be reviewing the Agfa-Ansco PD16 Clipper, which was commonly just called the Clipper. This camera was produced from 1936 to 1939, and it takes PD16 film, or more commonly known as 616 film, which is a lot larger than today's 35mm film, which is still commonly used in film photography. Well, not even commonly used, it's pretty much the only thing people use nowadays. However, those of you who just got this camera and are discouraged because, well, if you weren't already aware, 615 film has been long discontinued. It's still made in smaller batches and pretty hard to come by compared to some more commonly available film, such as 120 film, which you can use in this camera if you get the adapters. And this is a completely mechanical camera. No batteries used. It only has 2 shutter speeds. Bulb, which is essentially you keep the shutter open for as long as you want. And then instant, which is, what would that be? Let me check real quick. See, what's nice about having a computer right next to me is I can actually just check while we're live on film. What is the shutter speed of the standard model? Okay, the fixed speed, which was around 1/50th of a second. So that is the instant shutter speed. 1/50th of a second and then bulb mode are the only 2 shutter speed options for this model. So there you go. There's some live information right there. Well, technically not live, but you know what I mean. Let's see. What else do we have here? It does have a art decoy style. You can still see it a little bit here, but it's mostly faded away over the years. On the camera, it just says made by Agfa-Ansco Corporation, Birmingham, New York. Oh, Binghamton, New York is what it says. It's Binghamton. To open this camera, you just see on the sides, there's these 2 little things you press. You just press in and pull. You don't even really have to press in, you just grab it and pull. And these little things come out. They're like under tension. They come out and click into place. And then you can now use the shutter. Now you may be wondering, well, how do I change shutter speeds? You can see a little thing moving in there. That's the shutter opening and closing. There is a little thing on the top of the camera. You can see it. It's right there. Little pin. You pull it out till it's up like so. And if you look closely, you can see the shutter opening and closing. So there you go. That's how you access 2 shutter speeds. And this is your little flip up viewfinder. You just kind of flip it up and then this part pops up as well as this part back here. Basically the idea behind that is you're kind of just looking through that square, and whatever you see in that square is what is supposed to be in your camera. Is it accurate? No, not really. Is it going to work? Sure. It's not as good as an SLR or DSLR. Well, obviously DSLR would be a lot better, but it's not as good as an SLR. Like the film cameras that came along in the 60s, as well as like the SX70. Like, it's never going to be as good as that, but it's okay. And then this is fixed focus lens. You cannot adjust the focus on this lens at all. What you see is what you get. And then the aperture. Let's see, what is the aperture of this lens? Allow while visiting site, allow this time. Aperture on the standard model Bro, never mind, it got it wrong. Hold on. I also don't have a ton of recording time, so this is going to be a rushed video. It has a fixed aperture, and it has a simple meniscus lens, and the aperture is usually around f11, so pretty restricted. So good news for that is it's going to be great in bright light. You're not going to have very overexposed images. Unless you use bulb mode, then it's going to always overexpose. I mean, even if you're, unless you're shooting at night or like in the evening, even then you can. So it was designed for daylight outdoor use with slower film. And then some sources say that the aperture is f12.5. Either or, it's going to be a marginal difference. Doesn't really matter. It's not designed for low light photography, and I would not recommend this camera for low light photography or very in focus shooting. Like, it's just that really it was known as a simple and reliable camera. Simple and durable is what this camera was mainly known for. Yeah, simple and durable. It was mostly used for casual family and travel photos, which it's great for. Scenic views you can take fine with a fixed focus camera. Family portraits is fine as long as you're appropriate distance. And then it's mostly a collector's item nowadays, obviously. I mean, the value of this camera is around 10 to 40 depending on condition. This one I'd say more on the $10 range. I think I actually paid $10 for it. I can't remember what I paid for this camera. It might have been 5, 10. I might have paid what it was actually worth this time. I usually get them a lot cheaper. Anyway, it has two little strap things here, but they're broken off. And to open this camera, well, first, we might as well just close it. Well, we'll leave it open. To open this camera, there's this little lever here. You just slide down, and then the back pops open. Which, one thing I can really compliment on this camera, as I'm saying, as I'm struggling, is I was going to say it's ease of use. It's really easy to use, which besides that little struggle right there, is generally speaking, it's very simple to use camera. Your film would be loaded here, and you would pull across here and put in here, and it would be rotated with this to help you advance your film. And even this right here is actually a little helpful, little marker. It literally shows you where to put your film. It has arrows pointing, which is which direction you go in to rewind your film when you're done shooting. As if you look here, it says use PD16 Agfa film with a little pictogram of what it looks like. I don't know if that's actually what pictogram means. And it says Agfa on the back here. I own a few Agfa cameras. I actually really like them. Then if you look here, it says A and B. What does that mean? I don't know. Could I Google it? Sure. But what I'm going to tell you is these are things that let you look at the film, and that will allow you to see what exposure you're on and help you align your film in place. The A and B feature doesn't really matter. I don't really go into the nitty gritty too much of these cameras. Kind of give you more of a broad overview and information you need to know. And a lot of times, if you're a collector, this is a great camera for you. It's unique. Well, it's not really unique, but like the way it opens is unique. And it has unique features. It's a small camera, but it's heavy. It's durable. It's worth if you're a collector. It's worth it if you're a collector for sure. Now, if you're a photographer, honestly, it's not worth it. There's tons of other 616 cameras out there that actually offer you way more options for around the same price. I have incredible cameras that are in 616 that I paid like $5-10 for. So if you just go out there and look and you're interested in shooting on old antique analog photography or analog film, this would be the kind of things you would want to start paying attention to, knowing what to look for. There's not a ton of stuff to go over on this camera. It was part of the pre-World War II American consumer camera history. So this probably was around. It was around definitely during the Great Depression, I'm pretty sure. Or it might have been right as we were coming out of the Great Depression. 1936 and 1939. War started in 1941, but depending on what area you were in, you could say it started in 1939. The economy was definitely doing better at the time of this camera, but we were still recovering from the Great Depression. So it kind of actually speaks true in the camera, because it does seem like it was designed with cost effectiveness in mind. Oh, by the way, PD stands for print and develop, which is in 16 is you get 16 pictures per roll, which is actually probably something I can compliment this camera on. 16's a lot considering it's large pictures. And you get pretty okay image quality too because of the large size of the pictures. Besides that, I don't really know what else to say. I wouldn't recommend this camera simply because there are way better options out there. I would recommend it if you're a collector though. Overall, I like Agfa. Ansco, I don't know if they're actually. Let's look this up real quick. Cause this actually, I saw this when I was doing my research, and it really confused me. So like, is Agfa and Ansco the same company? Because I always thought they were two separate companies. Because Agfa actually was kind of doing its own thing back in the day. Ansco is always kind of a copier. So they were both based. Okay, so no. Agfa bought a controlling share in Ansco. So then the US branch was renamed Agfa-Ansco, and it made cameras and film for the American market. Okay, Agfa was a German company. Because Agfa was a German company, the US government seized Ansco as enemy property and separated it from Agfa. After the war, Ansco continued on its own again under the name General and in film, still making cameras and film. Okay, so during World War II is when the two cameras split. When the two companies split, they joined together during right before World War II, and then during and after is when they split again to become separate companies. So that kind of clears up some confusion for me for sure. Because I knew for a fact that Agfa and Ansco weren't always affiliated. Because I have a few cameras that say Ansco and say nothing to do with Agfa. I also have cameras that say Agfa and have nothing to do with Ansco. So that just helps you a little research there. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Film Flash out.